Oh snap. Welcome back to the Mystery Project. My name is Patrick. I had to pop on and do a quick live because I saw this guy. Can y'all see this dude? Okay. I go on YouTube and I'm looking at videos and I'm like, okay, what I want to talk about, what videos are going on today. I'm checking out the things that y'all are sending me. And then I see this whack job. Y'all, home inspector caught pleasuring himself with an Elmo doll. You can't make this up. This is crazy. It was like a 2-year-old's room, and he's in there inspecting the home. And then the mom gets a notification on the phone. Hey, there's movement in the nursery. She's like, oh, I wonder. Oh, let me just take a look here on my iPad and see what's going on. And this dude is in the closet with the Elmo. And y'all, I mean, this gives Tickle Me Elmo like a whole new meaning. This is crazy. What would you do? Like, honestly, what would you do? Dude's in your house inspecting your home, and you catch him just in the closet like... This is sick. Anyways, let me know in the comments, but just check this out. Just check this out. This is crazy.
Well, you certainly don't hear this one every day, and thank goodness for that, because a Michigan family had trusted a home inspector to look over their property as they got ready to sell, but when they checked their home security system, they spotted him violating their trust in one of the most egregious ways imaginable. He was pleasuring himself in the child's nursery with an Elmo toy.
He just puts it back to y'all. He didn't take it. I mean, at that point, just take the damn doll.
Yeah, pretty sickening stuff here. We'll go over how this unfolded, what happened to him, and how this could have
Crystal, right? Exactly.
Escalated if he hadn't been caught. And I'm going to break it all down with renowned predator catcher
Keisha, yep.
Hansen. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. I think it's probably fair to say it's one of the most disturbing home security videos I've ever seen, and I have been doing this job for quite some time. We go back, unfortunately.
Man, just imagine what this dude was doing to the Furbies back in the 90s. Oh, man. We didn't have security cameras as readily available as we do now. I mean, these poor Furbies. And Beanie Babies? Oh, my God. You know how many tags that dude ripped off? You know, you weren't supposed to rip off the tag from your Beanie Babies because they lose value or whatever. Imagine how much friction happened with those Beanie
March of 2021, a family in Oxford Township, Michigan, outside of Detroit, was putting their house up for sale. So they called in a home inspector, as one would normally do, except everything that I'm about to tell you is not normal. You see, that home inspector was Kevin Wayne Van Loven. Yeah, of nearby.
Van Loven? Oh, God. That in itself is crazy as hell.
By Clarkston. And according to local reporting, the family wasn't home when the then 59-year-old arrived to do the inspection. The homeowner, Jada Dodson, was alerted that there had been movement on the camera in the nursery. So we're talking the room of a reported 2-year-old, okay?
Dear God.
So she clicked on the video to see how things were going in that room. And what she saw instead was Van Loven standing at the open closet door, his back to the camera, appearing to, I'm sorry to say this, but appearing to pleasure himself.
Man, you gonna burn in hell for that one. Thank goodness she saw it so they could get rid of that poor Elmo. Imagine if the child played with it. Yeah, especially if the dude had something. Imagine that. Dude has something. And all of a sudden you're like, what's wrong with my child? You sick son. That's what I'm saying. Just take the damn doll at that point.
With an object. And as he turns around and zips up his pants, you can see what that object is. He is holding a red Elmo doll. A red Elmo doll. Yeah. Walks across the room, places the doll somewhere off camera, and as he adjusts it, you can actually hear that signature Elmo laugh on the security camera. Tell me that's not just the most incredibly unsettling.
It's not funny, but that is funny as hell. What the hell? You gonna burn in hell for that one.
Thing you've seen, but we got to bring in Chris Hansen to talk about this. Renowned predator catcher, host of Takedown on True Blue and the podcast Predators I've Caught. Chris, good to see you.
Crystal, no.
Happy New Year.
All I can say is poor Elmo. I mean, I've confronted Jesse hundreds of predators in my career, but never one who was preying on a child's toy. A Sesame Street character. And what a sacrilege
on the damn toy
this is. And how do you even begin to get into the mind of somebody who does this? I mean, you've got a guy who's
I don't think you want to, honestly. Just put him in jail.
Home inspector, right? He's supposed to be protecting you, protecting your interest or the interest of the buyer, perhaps in this case. And he does this in the privacy of somebody's home. It's disturbing.
It makes me wonder if there was a plan. If he knew, like, does he just walk in and find a toy that or is it like, I'm trying to make sense of it, I can't. But it makes me wonder if this was, in a way, premeditated.
Well, two things come to mind. One is, what is this guy's plan when he walks into any home? And why does it turn him on, apparently, to do this to a child's toy?
Especially the damn furry ass Elmo. What, dude's trying to relive the 70s? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, he likes a substantial amount of fur. I don't know how to say that YouTube friendly. Y'all get what I'm saying. But this is crazy.
And if you follow the psychology of many predators and criminals, is this something that would have continued into a more violent human contact crime? I mean,
that part too.
Guy starts as a peeping Tom.
Was Elmo the tip of the iceberg? No pun intended.
He then turns into potentially a type of person and maybe even a killer. That's the progression. So if this guy's starting with
damn.
Child stuff.
Dude, he looks like Oscar the Grouch, too. Color that dude green right there. He looks like Oscar the Grouch.
Child stuffed animal. Does this grow into something else? What is he trying to get out of this here? What motivates somebody like
I know somebody starts every crime it has to start with one.
Y'all remember Teddy Ruxpin and used to be able to record stuff with it? Imagine if it was recording back then, and that's how he got caught. They played the tape. They brought out the Teddy Ruxpin, and they went, Your Honor, as difficult as this is to hear, this is what the defendant did to the Teddy Ruxpin. And they had to hit play on the little Teddy Ruxpin, and it was like, oh, yeah. Oh. Sick.
Prime, but it makes me wonder, is this his first time?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Teddy Ruxpin? Did I just age myself, as they say? Put it in the comments. Do you remember Teddy Ruxpin?
I mean, what makes a guy wake up, right?
Yeah.
Go to work. Let's see what's next on the list. 5203, whatever drive. There's a child's toy. Let me go do this to it. It's very disturbing and difficult to understand, but you have to wonder what next.
And you make a great point about what happens if there was a child there. What could have happened? That's a scary thing. But talk to me about, in your experience,
that is crazy.
See predators, attaching themselves to, maybe it's a different kind of toy or it's an inanimate object of some kind. I'm sure in your experience, you've seen people who have these attachments and do things to dolls. You know what I'm talking about. So I wonder if there was something.
Oh, God. Y'all, this thing. Y'all remember this? Let me move myself over. That thing right there. I used to have one of those. That one that's highlighted right there. I had that thing. Yup. Used to put tapes in it. Like cassette tapes. You could make it sing Metallica or whatever. It's crazy as hell.
What is the attraction here, though?
I don't know.
What is the attraction to a child's toy? And does it have something to do with actually being attracted to a child? You have to wonder that. I was going through the podcast notes to record later today, and it's a guy who stone cold told me that he had no intention of harming this child. And 2 weeks later, he's busted in a hotel room with another child.
I
mean, you're going to burn in hell.
So what's the thought process and where is it going? And if this is how he gets his satisfaction, his sex, When is that not enough, and when does he strike out at somebody who would be playing with that toy?
It's interesting you bring that up because I want to add a few more layers to this story. So Miss Dodson apparently watched this happen in real time. And she told the outlet WDIV back in 2021 that she was basically frozen while she watched this and couldn't even articulate what she was seeing to her husband when he asked what was going on. Now, Dodson immediately...
Can you imagine if she came over the speaker of that thing and was like, hey, what the hell are you doing? That dude would have flew through the roof.
Called police. Deputies confronted Van Loven, who at first told them he was just moving the doll out of the way so that he could inspect an electrical outlet. But when the deputies revealed that there was a camera in the room, he reportedly confessed. He apologized. It seems he probably should have known that he was likely being watched in the video as he stands back up, because Van Loven actually looks directly at the security camera.
Oh, no. Look at his face right there, y'all. He's like, oh, damn it. He goes, and I'm unemployed. Is that Snoopy on his mask thing? Yo, he's got damn Snoopy. If it was Elmo on the mask, nope, I'm out of here. You crazy as hell. But that looks like Snoopy. I think that's Snoopy. You sicko.
Camera. It's very chilling there. I mean, again, do these criminals, are they naive enough to think they're not going to get caught? Did he think there wasn't a camera there in a child's room?
Well, I think they get so caught up in the moment that they forget about everything except for the occasion. It's just like the guy I referred to earlier. Here's a guy who got busted, was out pending an investigation, would have probably walked away from that case for a lot of different reasons, but 15 days later, he's in a hotel room with a 14-year-old girl. He's not getting away this time. So these guys, they tend to need to advance the level of their gratification to satisfy whatever fantasies they're chasing. And
he started with Bert, then he went to Ernie, then he was at Snuffleupagus, then he was at Elmo. What was next? You sick son of a...
And so what happens next, you know?
The fact that he confessed to it and didn't just say, I'm remaining silent. Do you see that? And look, I am not a psychologist.
Elmo didn't remain silent. He put Elmo back down and he started going...
But do you see that happen a lot where we're like, I'm caught, I want...
Well, I'm caught, and he figures, well, what's the harm here? I'm going to get away with this, and in 6 weeks, nobody even remember that I was a guy who, you know, had my way with Elmo in somebody's house. And,
you know, his whole stomach fell right out of his ass right there. Look at his face right there, y'all. The second he looked at the lens of the camera, right there. His whole insides just fell right out of his backside in that moment. Look, he's just like, oh, damn it. Oh, no.
I was a guy who, you know, had my way with Elmo in somebody's house, and he'll move on. And unless it's some professional.
Crystal said Elmo laughing because he knows there's a camera. That's so true. Keisha, poor Elmo gonna need therapy. No, poor Elmo's going right in the landfill. Probably burn that thing.
Sanction. Nobody's the wiser until and if he does something else.
And I'll get into his consequences in a minute. I am curious though. In your, you know, this is a home inspector.
Yeah.
Do people just, should they always be home when somebody's there? I mean, how much do you have to monitor what's happening in your life or what's happening?
I mean, I would be. Dear God, you gonna let some stranger walk around your house, even if their job is to walk around your house? Hell no, I'm gonna be there. You'll be going for the freaking Elmo dolls. The hell you plan on doing with that?
With school children, we talk about it with nursery schools,
a lot.
Daycares.
This is something that makes me crazy in my personal life and in my professional life when I talk to people about security and safety issues. You need to know who's coming into your home. And if you're merely going on one of the social media platforms, Facebook Marketplace, and saying, well, there's a fellow who seems nice to come in and do some work, do you really know who that is?
Yeah.
You know, and we have ways of checking backgrounds, and I think you can't be too careful. And I think some of these services, some of these platforms that you can use, subscribe to check somebody's background are not a bad thing.
Now, this homeowner, Jada Dodson, told WDIV in 2021, what if he had an STD?
Yeah,
and our
that
son
part.
played
I
with
said that. I freaking said that. What if he has something?
What if we didn't know? We have a toddler and a newborn baby too. There's nothing worse than when somebody comes to your home and you trust them to do a job and they do something like that in your child's bedroom. She makes a good point.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there are health issues here. I mean, this is a human bodily fluid that perhaps was spread to an object that a child could have played with.
Yeah.
And it's
That is sick.
it's disturbing. I keep using that word over and over again, but I don't know if there's any other word that aptly defines it other than that. It's horrible that somebody would do that.
You mentioned before something that was really interesting about, people who say they're not going to do anything again, they kind of repent, or what the consequences would be. So I mentioned Van Loven's conviction. So Oakland County, Michigan officials, they charge Van Loven with aggravated indecent exposure and malicious destruction of personal property less than $200. According to the Oakland Press, Van Loven's defense had argued that his were never actually seen on the video. So the indecent exposure charge, that wasn't warranted.
What? Your defense is just because you couldn't see what Elmo was tickling? It's not indecent exposure? You're in their house under a professional capacity with your appendages hanging out in a closet. That is indecent exposure, you idiot. Just because the camera didn't see it. Thank God the camera didn't see it. Can you imagine that? The lady has to see it on the camera also? You sicko. That is crazy. And then just walks over. This is what the whole thing pisses me off. But this part where he's just like, I'm just going to put it back over here like nothing happened. At that point, take the doll. At that point, I'm sure even the parents are probably like, why the hell would you put it back there? Why would you put it back there? Why wouldn't you just take it? Nuts. Literally.
A jury disagreed. A jury convicted Van Loven in 2022 of the misdemeanor indecent exposure charge. He was acquitted, though, of the destruction of property count, according to reporting from Working RE magazine, since there was apparently no DNA that was found on the Elmo doll. Apparently the jury, that's why they couldn't find him guilty of that charge.
Oh, there was DNA on it for sure. Maybe not that kind of DNA, but there was some DNA. Some skin cells. This is crazy. Did they check in? I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. Did they check inside the doll? Maybe not on the outside, but I'm looking at Elmo's mouth. This is sick. Let's continue, shall we?
Charge. Were you surprised by that decision?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to predict what a jury does, but I think that, Jesse, one of the disturbing things about this case, and it reminds me of a case a few years back in Louisiana where there was a deputy sheriff, a ranking deputy sheriff who was highly thought of in the community, who actually put semen in cupcakes that his wife made. And
do you remember? I remember that. We talked about that. That was crazy as hell. The wife was like a teacher or something. She ended up bringing all these damn cupcakes to her class. You remember this? This is nuts. And then they raided their house and they found a safe that had like all kinds of craziness in there.
And brought for school children to eat.
Yup.
So, what's the end game here? What is the fantasy they're trying to fulfill?
Jail and then hell.
And it turns out in this particular case in Louisiana, this guy was guilty of all kinds of other things. And
yeah, he was.
He was a bad guy. And the sheriff in that particular parish took action, and he's now locked up in prison. But, there again, you have this very, abhorrent behavior, this shocking, who even thinks about this sort of thing? But he doesn't. So you have to wonder, okay, what else is this person capable of, and what have they done?
Well, it's interesting because he was sentenced.
Yeah, how many other houses has he inspected? You know what I mean?
In December of 2022 to 19 days in jail with credit for time served, 18 months probation. He had also been
19 days in jail? That's all he got?
Undergoing mental health therapy prior to trial. The judge ordered that he continue with that until the therapist clinically discharged him. And during his sentencing, according to the Mercury News,
don't say discharged.
Van Leeuwen apologized, saying to the family it's difficult to express how sincerely sorry I am for the trauma and violation and disgust they must have felt. Not a day passes that I don't feel remorse and regret for my criminal activity on that day. He also apologized to his own family for the shame that he brought them. And according to court documents, Van Leeuwen said that he intended to follow the sentence.
This dude, he's not sorry he's sorry he got caught. This dude is sorry that there was a camera that saw it. That's what he's sorry about.
To the letter, but court records show he was convicted of violating his probation in January of 2020.
Oh, man. Dude got crazy as hell at Chuck E. Cheese and got up on stage with the band. Fucking rabbits trying to play the guitar, and this dude's hanging on for dear life, probably. This is crazy.
24. So again, this idea of I'm never going to do anything, I'll never do it, but
here you go. And that's a problem. So what do you do? I mean, I understand that this crime doesn't rise to the level of a crime committed against a child or an adult, but you see where we stand and who's monitoring this guy. I mean, clearly he violated the parole guidelines, the rules that he was supposed to which he was supposed to abide, and now he's in trouble again.
Chris, if you had the opportunity to sit down with this guy.
Oh, I'd love to.
What would you ask him? What would you want to know?
What was going on in your mind that made you do this? What's the fantasy? What were you fulfilling here? And why a child's toy? And why do you have to do this when you're supposed to be working? I mean, I'm not the morality police here. Adult sexual behavior is, generally speaking, the business of adults engaging in that sexual behavior. That's not what this debate is about. The debate is about why would you possibly do this and violate somebody's home, the sanctity of their home, where they raise their children, and think that that's okay? And where does this come from? That's what I'd like to know.
I think we'd all like to know that.
The devil.
I'll leave it with this. Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard said of this with respect to Mr. Van Leeuwen: just when I think I have seen it all, someone steps up and surprises me with a new level of disturbing actions. Sadly, in today's world, we cannot take it on faith that the people we let into our homes can be trusted. We cannot always presume that employers have done their job and have confidence their employees are trustworthy and there to do the job for which they've been hired. This is a disgusting reminder to be cautious about who you let into your home. The actions of these homeowners will likely prevent this defendant from going into anyone else's home.
Good. That part is very freaking good. Sky, yes. Excuse me, an Elmo doll? Yup. We talked about it earlier. That gives a whole new meaning to Tickle Me Elmo. Insane. Michael, people nowadays are more whack in the head than ever. Here's the thing that scares me. You guys are ready for this? This is what actually scares me. Who knows, right? Who really knows? But is it that people are more sick now? Or, and this is the part that's terrifying, is it that these wackos, no pun intended for him, are they just getting caught now? Was stuff like this happening, but because there wasn't like Ring doorbells for $100 or like nursery cam security stuff that's relatively affordable? Because imagine 40 years ago wanting to put a camera that you can watch remotely in your nursery. You know what I mean? Like that would be a lot of money. Are people getting caught now because of this kind of stuff? And they weren't getting caught before? Because that is crazy. That is crazy. You'd think he'd have a big brain for some common sense with that big head of That is true. That dude looks crazy as hell. Hey, where is he? Look at that. I mean, this dude, look at it looks like Pennywise if Pennywise got caught by Chris Hansen. Oh, where's the part of the video where he like looks up at it and it like you literally see his entire insides fall straight out of him? Is this it? Where is it?
Who at first told them he was just moving the doll out of the way so that he could inspect an electrical outlet.
No, yeah, you were inspecting an electrical outlet, all right. Right? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Oh.
At the security camera.
You dumbass. Look at his face right there. Just. Oh. How am I gonna explain this? And man, dude, oh, I can't even handle it anymore. These people are crazy as hell. Y'all, do me a favor, subscribe if you're new, if you like this kind of content. My name's Patrick. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button for me. There's not that many people in right now because I went live just randomly in the afternoon. But y'all, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button because that helps, YouTube spread the word about the live stream. So we got 20 likes. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all later on tonight. If you see things like this, just send them to me. Go join the Facebook group. I'll pin it down. It's pinned in the description, but I'll pin it in the comments. Go join the Facebook group. Just search the Mystery Project group. And if you see videos like this, just post them. And I'll see them and I go, oh my God, this can't be real. Yup. It was real. Prancer, thank you so much. All right, love you guys. I'll see y'all later on tonight.